Alright, it's going to be the first game of Hammer of the New Year's. I'm playing against Mike and his Empire. Did you want to go over your list?
Sure. Here we got 10 Knights full command. Next we got Demigryphs with Musician. 20 Swordsmen with the BSB, full command. We got a War Altar with Elector on it. 5 Archers with a Bright Wizard. Great Swords, full command. Hellblaster. Cannon in the tower, and an Engineer hiding behind the corner.
Alright, and then I have a Vargolf, Spirit Hosts, Terrorgeist, unit of 25 zombies with with Musician and Standard, and my level 4 Necromancer in there, unit of 35 Ghouls, and then a unit of 33 Graveguard with full command, and a White King in there. Actually no, it's 34 Graveguard with a White King. We are doing kind of my 1800, I'm practicing with my 1800 list that I'm trying to take to Edmonton, and we rolled up a random scenario which was Blood and Glory. So breaking point is 1 at 1800 points, and we rolled off to see on who went first, and Vampire Counts gets first. So we just finished a very quick Vampire Counts turn 1. I just didn't really move up at all. My Terrorgeist is trying to hide behind this building while still not being flanked by those Demigryphs. My Spirit Host came over to here to make, that's a 14-inch distance to his Hellblaster, and essentially this is like a 13 to those Great Swords. And my Vargolf is hiding from the Hellblaster and is getting ready to eat a cannon. And in the magic phase, there was a whopping 4 dice, 2 to Mike, 4 to me. I rolled all 4 at Gaze in the Gash on his Wizard's unit, and he uses the spell scroll, and it was a good thing he did because I rolled after and it would have been 12 hits on his Wizard's unit. So we are off to Empire turn 1. So we just finished Empire turn 1. His charges were his Greatswords tried to charge in on my Ghosts. He needed a 9. He got an 8, so he didn't quite make it. Nothing else kind of really moved. His Knights tried to do a swift reform and failed, so they just reformed. And the magic phase, he fireballed my Terrorgeist, putting 1 wound onto it, and he did the banishment on it, but I dispelled that. In the shooting phase, he shot a cannon at the Terrorgeist, and he hit it, wounded it, and then I got my 6-up regen to save its life, so I was quite happy about that. And we are off to Vampire Counts turn 2. So we just finished Vampire Counts turn 2. My Graveguard and Ghouls didn't move up at all. My Zombies swift reformed and moved up to the side so my Necromancer can get out of there. My Terrorgeist flew up to the side of his Archers and General. And my Spirit Host charged in at the Hail Cannon, and my Vargolf charged in at the cannon in the tower. In the the magic phase, it was 10 dice to Mike's 6, and I rolled 3 dice at Gaze in the Gash from my my Necromancer to his Wizard. Total powering it, killing. I did 7 wounds, but I couldn't hit his character in there because he still had 5 archers, and he did not panic. My miscast ended up killing, I got 7, so the detonation blew up 3 zombos, and I lost 5 dice on my pool, so it was my 2 dice to his 6. He just dispelled it. I was going to yell at his Wizard, but he's still within 3 inches of his unit, so he'd get a 4+ Lookout Sir, that I didn't want to risk that. So I yelled at his General, doing 3 wounds to the altar and 2 wounds to his General himself. My Spirit Host won combat by the charge, and my Vargolf only did 3 wounds to the guys in the tower. And we are off to Empire turn 2. We just finished Empire turn 2. His charges were his Demigryphs into my Ghouls, and that was it for his charges. His movement brought his Swordmen up. He's just all going out for my my General right now. Great Swords are coming in on this flank. Swordsmen are coming down the middle trying to get to me. His knights are actually going down the back here to try and deal with my Terrorgeist. His general took his wagon a little bit back, closer to his knights, and the wizard is just sticking around, keeping his lookouts there. Engineer moved into the building. I said it as a joke, and then he put it up there, and it's actually a good idea, because if I send my Vargolf after him, it's just a whole other turn that I'm not really doing anything with him. And in that combat, nothing really happened. But in the magic phase, he tried to do banishment on one dice on my Terrorgeist, but first he tried to do a fireball from his wizard on my Terrorgeist, and he rolled a 6 on 3 dice, and so I only had 3 dice to dispel his 5. Anyway, it came down to, yeah, he rolled his 3 dice, I rolled 2, I dispelled him. He rolled 1 dice on his Lector to try and do the banishment. I rolled 1 dice and beat him. So magic was shut down. There was no shooting, and that was the end of the Empire turn 2. So we just finished Vampire Count's turn 3. In my turn, my Graveguard charged in at his Demigryphs, and my Ghouls charged in at his Swordsman. My Vargolf tested to see if he could march on his Leadership 4, and he could, which was just a very happy surprise. So he came all the way over here to look at the flank of the Swordsman and look at his Wizard. Terrorgeist just moved up a little bit, so he's within range of Screaming. And I made both of those charges. The Graveguard, I lost 5 of them, and I killed 2 Demigryphs. So he fled. I chose not to chase after him because I didn't want to actually be on the flank of those... well, I didn't want to give my flank to those knights. And in this fight over here, I thought my ghouls were actually going to do work against him, but it ended up being a draw, so he won by 1. So I crumbled by 1. And in the magic phase, I only got to heal up some zombies. He dispelled my 12-inch bubble. Van Hell's Dance, and we're... Oh, and in my Terrorgeist, I shot at his general, got 5 hits on him, all of it went onto the cart, and only doing 1 wound, because his stupid 4-up regen. He only has 1 wound left, his general only has 1 wound left. But we're off to Empire turn 3, yeah. So we just finished Empire turn 3. His Demigryphs were in the way of his knights charging anything. He had no charges to declare. His swordsmen are still making their way around to get to my zombies. His wizard had nowhere to really go, so he's just he tried to move out of the way of my charging Vargolf so that he can shoot some... He can get another turn in of shooting or cause my Terrorgeist to go after him. In the combat, I ended up winning by 3, but his cold-blooded saved him from staying there. And magic phase, he did 2 more wounds to my Terrorgeist with fireballs, and we are off to Vampire Count's turn 4. We just finished Vampire Count's turn 4. My Vargolf charged into the flank of my of his swordsman. We forgot to do the fight over here, and the spirit hosts actually killed the Hellblaster and chased him down. And that panicked his engineer, and his engineer left the building. Over here, I flew my Terrorgeist to this spot right over here, looking at his wizard. And in my magic phase, I got a 12-inch bubble dance from my general, which allowed me to move my zombies up away from his swordsman. And then it allowed me to swing my Terrorgeist back over to his general and still keep him within 12 inches of my general, so I can still cast more spells and heal up my Terrorgeist. So I ended up putting an extra 2 wounds healed up onto him when I did my 12-inch bubble dance, and then I just did another 6-inch bubble heal to just get more zombies and to heal up my Terrorgeist again. By doing so, I got to scream at his general with my 5 wounds. It ended up killing the general, and he saved both the wounds that went on to chariot. My Graveguard that charged into the Demigryph murdered him and then overran into the knights. And my Vargolf ended up doing work. He killed 5 guys on the charge, and then the ghouls killed a bunch of others. He only got 1 ghoul in return, and so he needed Snake Eyes on 3 dice and failed. So panicked his wizard, and he ran off to the board. There's still another 6 inches to this board because the table is only a 6x3. So we are off to Empire turn 4. We just finished Empire turn 4. He charged his War Altar into my Terrorgeist, and he charged his Swordsman into my Ghouls. His Engineer didn't rally and ran off the table. His Wizard rallied and shot a fireball into my Vargolf and did 3 wounds to him. And he tried to do +1 to hit on his Swordsman, and I dispelled it with total power. In the combat phase, my Ghouls still had Van Hell's Dance on, so they had rerolled a hit, and his Swordsman, you didn't fail your fear test, but they did not kill much. I think they killed 3 Ghouls, and then the Ghouls just went to town, killing 8. And I ended up winning combat, but he's still stuck there. So the War Altar did 1 wound with the impact, and so I ended up losing by 2 because he made his ward saves on the chariot itself. And so my Terrorgeist only has 2 wounds left. But then in this fight over here, my Graveguard went to Happy Town, and his Knights killed 5 of my Graveguard, but I ended up killing 8 of his Knights. He needed Snake Eyes to run, or to stay. He failed it, his banner popped, and that was his breaking point, because he only has 1 stick left, which is his Swordsman over here. So, it was a good game. One thing that we were just talking about is just the deployment of this tower, where he put his cannon in. That if it was more centralized, like I couldn't put this building here to block off all of that line of sight that I could hide behind with my big toys. And the fact that we also played Blood and Glory is the closer deployment that I got to bring my monsters up to the flank and take it to cannon essentially turn 2.